In the shadows of Staten Island, a terrifying figure haunted the imagination of children and adults alike for decades. Known as Cropsey, this boogeyman was said to lurk in the dark tunnels beneath the abandoned Willowbrook State School, a massive institution for the mentally disabled that was once notorious for neglect and abuse. According to local folklore, Cropsey was a deranged killer, a monstrous figure with wild eyes and a hook for a hand who would kidnap children who dared to venture near the asylum tunnels. Parents whispered stories to keep their children from wandering too far, warning them that Cropsey might snatch them away forever. For years, these tales remained just that, stories meant to scare. But the line between myth and reality began to blur when several children mysteriously disappeared in Staten Island during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Panic swept through the tight-knit community as fears grew that Cropsey might not be just a legend. The Willowbrook tunnels, with their twisting corridors and endless darkness, became the center of nightmares. Locals claimed to hear footsteps echoing through the empty halls and see flickers of movement in the shadows. Some swore they caught glimpses of a figure with a wild beard and ragged clothes, eyes burning with madness. As the disappearances mounted, so did the rumors. Was Cropsey real? Was he a ghostly entity born of trauma and neglect? Or was there something more human, and far more terrifying, behind the legend? Andre Rand was a maintenance worker and occasional groundskeeper at the Willowbrook State School, a man who blended into the background yet carried a dark presence. Known for his erratic behavior and strange fixation on children, Rand became a person of interest when the disappearances escalated. Despite his odd demeanor, few suspected the depths of his darkness. He moved quietly through the tunnels, familiar with every hidden corner and secret passage. He was someone the children trusted, or at least didn't fear enough to stay away from. In 1984, the truth began to unravel. A series of kidnappings led police to Andre Rand's doorstep, and the terrifying reality emerged that Cropsey was not a ghost or a myth, but a very real man. Rand was arrested and later convicted of kidnapping multiple children. Although only convicted for a few cases, he was suspected of being responsible for many more disappearances and murders that haunted Staten Island for years. The details of the crimes were chilling. Rand lured children away with promises or force, hiding them in the labyrinth of tunnels and abandoned buildings beneath the decaying Willowbrook campus. Many victims were never found, swallowed by the darkness of the forgotten asylum grounds. This man, who had once been just another face in the crowd, had become the embodiment of the community's worst nightmares. The folklore had come to life, and the legend of Cropsey was forever stained with real blood. The investigation into Andre Rand and the Willowbrook disappearances was long and grueling. Police worked tirelessly to piece together fragments of evidence, testimonies from frightened survivors, and the terrifying accounts of families who had lost children without a trace. Yet, despite the arrests and convictions, many questions remained unanswered. The tunnels beneath Willowbrook were vast, dark, and treacherous. Search efforts were hindered by the crumbling infrastructure and the dangers hidden in the shadows. Some locals believed the tunnels were a labyrinth where countless secrets lay buried, abandoned bodies, lost souls, and the horrors inflicted by a broken system. Willowbrook itself was a symbol of neglect, where the vulnerable were forgotten and abused, a place that bred monsters in both human and supernatural forms. Andre Rand's trial revealed the depths of his twisted mind but also exposed the failures of society. The asylum's neglect, the lack of oversight, and the community's silence allowed the evil to fester unchecked. Cropsey was no longer just a name whispered to scare children, he was a stark reminder of real evil lurking in the forgotten corners of the world. To this day, the tunnels remain sealed, but the legend of Cropsey persists. Some say his spirit still roams the dark corridors, a restless ghost haunting the place where human cruelty and madness once collided. The story of Cropsey and Andre Rand has become one of the most infamous urban legends in New York history. It serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers hidden behind closed doors and the importance of vigilance in protecting the innocent. Staten Island residents live with a complex legacy, a mixture of sorrow, fear, and a determination never to forget. The Willowbrook State School was eventually shut down, but the scars it left on the community remain deep and painful. For many, Cropsey is more than a legend, he is a symbol of the darkness that can thrive when society turns its back on the vulnerable. Children today still hear whispers of Cropsey, and while some dismiss it as mere folklore, others remember the truth buried beneath the ice and snow of forgotten tunnels. The story warns us that legends often have roots in reality, and sometimes, the real monsters are the ones we least expect.